And away we go. Are returning back. Just testing my hat. It's much quieter. I taped up the inspection hall and a couple of other little things. Big difference. Pete, I might take it up to 5,000 today.
You're very welcome.
There's no lift today, so I thought, well, we'll just take it up to 5,000 and go for a little bit of a cruise around. Bit of a, oh yeah, it is rain. Coming up to 5,000. We do low tows here in Australia. Oops. I'll leave that for the moment.
Charlie, left downwind, 34 right.
I'll fix that up in a minute once I've released. The other one may come off too. I'll fix that up too. And here we are at 5,000. Looking right and looking left. Looks all to be clear there. And we'll release.
50. Have fun now.
Just trim off.
55.
Lovely.
60.
And just keep it around that speed there. And we'll just reattach this one. Ooh. Pop that on there like that. Beautiful, that's a nice solid. Nice solid. And you can get a good look at that too. I'll point it toward the camera, hopefully you can see that.
70.
So my app calls out speeds. I'll have to contend with that. I don't think we'll worry about that. Okay, flaps, undercarriage, up. Undercarriage, speed and trim. 50 knots is good for today. Looking for the airfield. It's over there. Calling out the ground speed. That's in knots.
50.
It's lovely and quiet.
50.
Well, it's heaps quieter. I wonder if Mark fixed the air seal on the canopy. We're going to run a bead of silicon. I think there's a tube that fits inside the canopy on the inside there and seals it up. The Duo is nowhere to be seen. I can't see any aircraft on my FLARM. If I zoom out of my FLARM here, I'll have a look at 20 case. I see no aircraft. I See how slow we can fly
Rotate.
over the ground. We've got pretty strong wind up here.
14.
So point it into wind. 34 knots, 32 knots. I think this is where the wind's coming from. 26, 25 knots over the ground. We slow it down a little bit. 22 knots. That's over there. I'm reading it over here. And over here you can see the ground speed here, 38 knots on this one. So I'd go for the Oudie. That'll be a far more accurate GPS than the telephone app. 4,444 feet. Got 22 knots on one side and 41 kilometres an hour. Right, okay, so 23 knots. So they're both the same. 45 kilometres an hour over the ground at 40 knots indicated. Pretty good. I'll just pull the trim back there and maintain this speed right there. We're not really going down too quickly. Very, very slowly. Got a vent on the side and a vent here. That's a nice vent. First time I've used that. Oh, beautiful, pleasant, smooth as silk. I shall move the camera a little closer to the instruments so you can see what's going on. I'll unsucker that and we'll bring it in there, I reckon. We'll bring it in there. Sucker it on. So this is the... I don't know if that's going to come up any good. But just have a look at the numbers there on the Oudie. So this instrument here shows us a whole bunch of various things. I don't know where they put that little thing is obviously right in the wrong corner, but I'll get my biro out. I should point that out. So we've got a ground speed here in kilometres an hour and our altitude there. Takeoff, Waikerie is our nearest airport, is 6.4 kilometres from our current location. And we're flying into wind, so that's where we want to be today, pretty strong. Distance 6.49 kilometres from Waikerie. That's our true direction to the airport, to Waikerie, I suppose. So if we turn around and we point ourselves to Waikerie, let's have a look, see what that's all about. Yes. So it tells me I'm turning left there. Okay. And 2 degrees, 31.
Rotate.
Straighten up here, and then okay, cool.
60.
So that's the heading to the station. It's actually the heading to Waikerie to the station. Okay. Triangle, I don't know about that. AGL, that's above ground level, 4100. Okay, and altitude is 4300, so that's correct. Waikerie is 148 feet above mean sea level. And ETA, well, that's if I had something programmed, which I do. So the current time is 12:45 to 12:46, so that's all correct, true and correct. Back into wind again. And we'll just sort of hover. Okay.
60. 55. 50.
Okay. So I've got FLARM on there as well. Our power FLARM should be showing on the other aircraft, but I'm not getting the tug on there. I don't know if the tug's got a FLARM. I'll fly into wind here. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of the way I set up my screen. You can, you know, that's 20 kilometres, I go down to 10 kilometres. And you can see these circles, this is 2, 4, 6 kilometres, so, you know, around me. So if I put it at 20, then that's 10 miles, so on the outer ring. Yeah, I'll put it at 10k. I think 10k is pretty good. Okay, and then we'll just move along and have a look at the instruments a little bit here. There, I hope you can see them clearly. So this is my vario, and that's an audio vario, and this here is also a vario, and this is the manual vario. So that's the one that we look at. Around there is what they have a McCready ring. So we got 0 lift today, so we put that on 0, and this tells me what speed I should be flying on the outside of the ring. So if you got 2 knots lift, it's going to tell me to fly at 60 knots. So I should be flying at 60 knots. So I'm not going to do that today because there's no lift, and we'll just pop that on neutral there. Well, if I pop it on 2, if I pop it on 2 knots, then I don't know. Pop it on 0. There's no lift today. Well, actually, it's about there, isn't it? That's about what we're averaging. So, yeah, flying slow. It's telling me to fly slow, 40 knots. So, you know, that's what I'm doing. Least amount of sync. Our altimeter is here, and you know, I dialed up the millibaric pressure today. It's 1,012 millibars according to the QFE, if I get that right. QFE as opposed to QNH. So area QNH should be probably slightly different, possibly. I just dialed up the airfield elevation on the altimeter. It's 148 feet. Thereabouts, and 138 feet, and essentially, yeah, you can read off the QFE then in that case. This is the radio. Not sure exactly what this one does. Channel 5. What does that do? Oh, okay, so you can select various channels. All right, that's nice. Okay, channel 3, channel 1, 122.7. Channel, I'm going to take that back. So, okay, 126.7. Okay, 126.7. What's this one? Oh, that's nice. So it's been programmed. You know, this one here, I think, I don't know what that does. Oh, this must be the dialing the channels there. Squelch is automatic squelch today. Also, just have a look at the airfield. We don't want to get too. Oh, it's 4,000 feet. It's not really an issue. Yeah. So we'll just continue into wind. Keep an idea of where we are in relation to where we want to go. Okay. So that's our radio. That's our volume. If I push the button to transmit, you'll see a little light come on there. Okay. So that's fine. And This is the manual switch, but I keep it on all the time and control it with the main master switch down here. We got a USB charger here, 5 volts at 1 amp on the top, and 5 volts is 2.1 amps on the bottom, and I've got a separate fuse for that one too. So I can just turn that USB on, see the little blue light come on there, so that's live, and turn it off, and we don't need that. Our Vario, electric Vario, that's these two. I can dial up. Okie dokie. So this is the volume there. So we'll put it on cruise, and then we'll. So that dial, I suppose, that one dials up how many knots you've got. So this is a climb thing. So that's a cruise thing, and we'll demonstrate that when there's a bit of lift. We heard it the other day, but that's 2 different settings there. This would be how many knots, so you dial up your average of, you know, what knots you got, and you can hear the Vario do that. And I think this one here, this switch here, determines whether you got water ballast on board or not. So we've got no ballast on at the moment. I'll put that to 0, and I'll turn that volume down. All the way down, don't need that. Okay, give the altimeter a tap. There we go. So we're at about 3,600 feet now. So we'll probably point toward the airfield, get a little bit closer. We'll be in a little comfy zone. Okay, and now
55, 60.
Okay. And then our app over here is calling out the speeds again. Once it's automatically does that, and it should call out the altitude as well. Whether I've got that set up correctly or not, I'm not sure. I can do the QNH. I can set the QNH there to 1,000. Let's have a look. I'll point this over here. I don't know if you can see it, but if I set the QNH, I'll just go back there to the app again. So I can touch the QNH here, that there, and then there you go, and it'll set the QNH. So I can do that 1,012 millibars. So we'll slide the slider down to 1,012. There it is. A bit of a touchy old girl there. There you go, 1,012, and then that'll compensate for the altitude, like you would a barometric altitude. Compensates for the GPS altitude, and we've got little what do you call it, algorithm that'll calculate that for us. That calling out the speed's a little bit annoying. We'll leave it just for the purposes of what it does, so I can hear
75
what it's doing. So when we're looking at landing, today's a little bit different. Point this over here. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, I can focus on flying the aeroplane down a little bit lower, so we're possibly in where there's a bit of traffic. But our power FLARM, which is what we've got this cable connected to on our Oudie, bit of chop here. A little bit of chop.
60.
A little bit of chop down low.
50. Rotate. 14.
So we're now 2,900 feet. It's a nice little flight. I'll pull the camera back so you can see what we're doing. There we go. Up there for you. We'll straighten her up. One or two there. I hope you get a good shot there. That should be alright. Okie dokie. It's heaps quieter. Taping up the gaps makes a huge difference.
Waycross traffic Naviter aircraft clipping Lima, 10 miles northwest of the field, passing 3,300 on descent to 1,700 feet, inbound from Turkish to full stop, ETA 31. Waycross.
It's Diamond Star that's inbound. This is glider India Kilo Sierra is north of the field at 2,700 feet, and we'll be just flying around this area ever so slowly descending. Oh, I just lost my button.
Sorry, just waiting for traffic. This is Echo Quebec Lima. Is that someone calling Echo Quebec Lima? This is the radio. This is rescue. Very well, yeah. Wait for it.
There it is. Alrighty. Yeah, it's just India Kilo Sierra is a sailplane, and is just about a half a mile north of the township at 2,700 feet, ever so slowly descending. For a downwind for runway 02 grass. That's a Waikerie, but I'll be joining in about probably 10 minutes.
Copy traffic. This is Echo Quebec Lima. Are you still in orbit and wait for your joining before the joining to Waikerie aerodrome? Waikerie.
I think you should have enough time. It'll be about probably 5 minutes or 8 minutes before I'll be joining downwind, so we should be right. But I'm just at 2,600 feet, essentially over the river north of the township.
Break. Any other traffic? Waikerie, just over the dimension flight on. 589 IFR 6 We're just coming up now to 8 miles to the southwest, inbound through 4,000. First maiden circuit Waikerie at time 30, and we'll be joining for overhead 1,500 for a left base, for a left downwind for runway 02. We've copied India Kilo Sierra and Echo Quebec.
Traffic Waikerie, Whiskey Golf Charlie, glider tuck, lining up runway 02, we'll be climbing to the north, copy the traffic inbound, I'll keep an eye out.
So, we've just made a little radio call there out of a courtesy, just to maintain some separation. Weird, I can't see the traffic on my power FLARM, so it's supposed to pick up ADSB, so maybe he's a mode C. My little button, I lost my button, so I'm just wondering if I could do a manual transmission. I've got to watch out for that little button. Yeah. I'll turn to the left and check out, see where the traffic is. And see where we gotta be.
40. Rotate. 55. 60.
Okay.
70.
So, looking out for the traffic. We'll just grab a little bit toward the airfield and get ourselves in position. We're about 500 feet before we're going to commence our landing for 02. Yeah, interesting sort of an approach, I must admit. Bit choppy. A little bit choppy here. I don't know.
Correct, Wakery, flight on 589, joining crosswind runway 02. We've got the Golf Charlie and the fighter on the side. India Kilo Sierra, where are you?
India Kilo Sierra is directly over the river at 2000, about to join downwind for 02 grass, Wakery. Oh yeah, we've got you sighted there, India Kilo Sierra.
60.
Beautiful.
55.
The Pilatus does look very nice.
Rotate. 40.
And Echo Quebec Lima, flight on 589, where are you now? Flight on, this is Echo Quebec Lima, I'm just down on the south of Wakery Aerodrome, at 2,200 feet, just overflying the field.
55.
Yeah, I was just showing these circuits
60.
out to you guys. Correct, Wakery, flight on 589,
60. 55. 50.
That's a very annoying.
40.
I don't know how to stop it. I suppose just hitting the volume on the settings, and then sounds, volume, and I'll just turn everything down. There you go. That'll do it. Okay. And then we'll go back to the app again. Attitude. That's a ticket. Okay. Alright, there's a little bit of lift there, you know. We're flying to a fraction, a little bit of lift. It's extending our flying time somewhat. Just turn the volume up a little bit. Okay, let's commit ourselves.
Echo Quebec Lima, we're descending at 2,200 feet over the field. We're descending on that side to 1,700 feet. We're closer of the aerodrome.
We got the tug on our left wing. All stations Wakery traffic. This is glider India Kilo Sierra. I'll be joining downwind, late downwind for 02 grass Wakery.
Wakery, Whiskey Golf Charlie, base runway 02, landing short on the grass, full 09, clear of the gravel.
Okay, so flaps, okay, undercarriage. down and locked. Speed, you want about 60 knots speed, and trim. That's 60 knots. It's a very unusual approach. Don't want to get too far downwind. Really high. I'm so conservative when I'm learning to do this again. Okay, 60 knots. Crack the brakes open at 60. You're looking good. We'll come off to the right. A little bit quick again, but we're high. Full air brakes. A little bit of crosswind there. Just watch out for my speed. Bit of chop there. Oops. A little bouncy. Otherwise, that is definitely a challenge. That was an unusual approach, you know, truly lots of strange things there that I'm not used to, but you know, I mean, I guess that's probably what it would be like if, like Bill mentioned earlier, outlanding in a paddock, I suppose. So yeah, there you go. Let's do another winter's flight. Not much soaring for the next few videos, I don't think, but interesting nevertheless to have a look at the instruments and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and you know, if you do, then subscribe, and you know, you can like the videos, comment, feel free to say what you like. I'm learning with every flight, so see how I improve in the future. All right, Uru. See you next time.